Hello, my name is Gabriel Ndikon of the Confit Global Consulting, the charity for medical, pharmaceutical, and innovative technology. My name is Gabriel Ndikon of the charity Global Consulting. Ich heiße Gabriel N. Ndikon of the Confit Global Consulting for pharmaceutical, medical, and innovative technology. Este Gabriel Ndikon of the Charity Medical Foundations. Je m'appelle Gabriel Ndikon de la Charité Médicale et le commerce international. CMFIT, consultation globale pour la recherche médicale, pharmaceutique et innovation technologique. Hola, ¿cómo está? My dear amigos, señor, señorita, señora, all welcome to today's presentations. As I introduce, before further ado, Shalom and Salam for all my friends from Lebanon, if I can call it like that, and other friends from the Middle East. It's all about peace. It's all about shalom, 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 and salam. In the name of Adonai, Yeshua Hamashiach Sikano Isa. All right. So the point is this. I heard a lot of people talking, a lot of stuff. As you can see, the Holy Spirit upon me, working and serving the true God, the God above, the God who created this universe. And I wanted to be very clear that I do understand what happened to me in the United States of America, that there has been a conspiracy that happened. Okay, I understand. I came here for profile. I talk about a letter. The profile was made due to political target. The blessing of God above, the blessing of God above will always come with a challenge that match your blessing. The higher your challenge is, the equivalent your blessing will be, or is actually. So you just have to keep up till God time come, for it to be realized. Because I have many people who talk about, in order for you to become a singer, in order for you to become a successful person, you have to know a higher star or somebody to help you. So he said that I knew Jesus Christ, so he's the one who placed me where I am today as a singer, writer, and a music producer. And I said, that's right, but that was in his timing. Okay, that was in his timing. So you have to wait for his timing, for God's timing, for things to happen. It doesn't happen as people want it to happen. And I wanted to be very clear today. I want to be clear, and I want to make this in the name of the Holy Trinity and the higher power who is in the heavens, mean the center of all the universe, or the whole universe that compose all the universe, 8 universe. So I want to make clear, from Washington DC to Cameroon, back to all the states, to Europe, to everyone around the world. I want them to know, if they didn't know that, because many people think so. All right, I am a consultant. This is not a joke. This is not a fake thing. All right, and I will be very clear. I run an organization, a company. I am a biostatistician consultant. I have an employer identification number to pay my taxes, and I have my state ID number to pay my state taxes, and I have all the other required certification to accredit my company here in the state. Now, the point is this: when you want to adjudicate a person, you have to find out who the person is and what he does. Running, I know people say there's no luck, there's no change for him to get a. I don't need people to hire me anymore based on what people think. I want people to work with me in a contract basis with my company, so that people have to remove in their mind that Gabriel and Daikon do not have a job. No, that's not true. You are sleeping. You have some ignorance into this specific matter. And I want to clarify that to all the people from Los Angeles to New York, to Illinois, to Florida, to Texas, and even the radio, TV that is playing right now in my house, because I don't know if they're watching me. They might be. Technology, you know what I'm talking about Ron Paul, talking about stuff. So the point is, you have to know, and it got to start with people talking about I'm doing research online. You are wrongly ignorant with respect to my biography. Okay, people might have told you stuff that you keep believing, and you are on the wrong side of the story of history here, right? I'm telling you the truth. A biostatistician, I want to be very clear, because you have to listen what it is. A biostatistician is a person who uses statistical method to solve medical and biological problems. He can also go along based on his knowledge on statistics to solve environmental health problems, as well as pharmaceutical social as well as social economical problems, as well as psychological problems, and more. So what they do, they give a certain trend into the test statistic they want to run. That test statistic have a trend to a specific probability distribution. All right, that's what they do. And then now they compare based on a random phenomena or a non-phenomena. They compare observed value with expected value. Observed value is thing that you see. Expected is thing that you expect to be known or to be seen. Then they summarize the comparison into one single test statistic, and there are many of them, and compare that test statistic with the distribution that it is trending into. So when they do the comparison, then they know where the valuation come and what is the outcome. Many companies around the world that are in the pharmaceutical industry or the medical industry or the public health industry use biostatistician to do the work. Some of them that have offices all over the place or less offices in certain area can use individual like me who have their independent office to run the business. To save them money to build other offices. And what you do, you are provided with good computer and software, and you can access the company database from your home or from wherever you are and do the same work that any other person can do driving into an office. So they've been using those strategies because biostatistics, you use software and analytical approach, because you have to run your data into the code that's already written, but you must be able to interpret the data accordingly. If you are talking about medical issue, you have to relate your statistic with medical issue to be well understood medically. Like you're going to talk about the statistical approach and or the biological approach. Okay, the statistic say that we have variation within genes. Okay, within genes, with respect to the level of toxins or the level of bad or inefficient amount of food in the liver, you can find out variations. And then now when the variation is found, you can actually derive a conclusion based on that. Or either you can say biological difference, biological significance. You talk about gene differentiation. You're talking about people that have different genotype, different gene sequence, individuals are different, therefore they will have differences in the outcome because of the genetic differences. That's how you link the biological difference and the statistical proof of that difference. If you have to do with environmental problems, you have to do the same. If you have to do with psychological problems, you have to do the same. Using specific test statistics like R-square, t-test, f-test, or binomial distribution test, or Poisson distribution test and stuff like that. Or ANOVA, analysis of variances, how data vary based on certain criteria or by group or by subject, or, as I mentioned earlier. So you have to know this thing. I do not like when people undermine my existence that way. And I want it to be very clear to say to people, I don't care what you think. You don't know me. I care what God thinks. The problem that I'm facing today is not the problem of employment, because I already have an employer, which is the Conflict Global Consulting, the Charity Medical Foundation. The problem that I'm facing is contract. I must have more contract. If I have more contract, I can earn more. And that is not new. And that should not be ashamed to say, because it's a growing company. So what you guys are talking about, you guys are upset. You're completely upset. And I went to a company that is controlled by people of the white race. The company, some of them don't even have certain specialization, but they run the company as a consulting firm for metadata work with the government, with private industry, with pharmaceutical industry. And what do they do when they receive a contract proposal? What they do? They start hiring, interviewing people based on those contracts to make sure that they have people ready if the contract is given, because you have many people applying for that position. So that's what it is. So a consulting company like that who operate today in an office, they have an office and staff, they hire people to perform the contract and project that been given to them in Dayton. They hire me, they didn't hire me, but they have an interview with me to pay me $50 an hour. They don't even have those qualifications, but they're running. So what do those people have that I don't have? What do those people have that you don't have as human being? Idea that they put in place, and they have the support. I have idea and I have the specialization. But I was talking to the man, he told me we have about $500,000 project right now. So they have a project, when they do their project is about $500,000. Do you imagine that? And they say we started like you, from our house. So the more project came, the more people know that they do. So they start hiring people. So I can be like, here, I have a contract, and I say, all right, I know someone, I can pay him this, and then please help me to run this this data, and I pay you this per hour because the money came. And that's what I do. And I can do the same. Why not? I have the tool, and I know what to do. So when people sit there, somebody like me who's thinking ahead, and people are there talking about stuff that don't make sense. Company will save millions of dollars hiring contractors that have their own offices. They don't have to worry about relocation. They don't have to worry about building an office in those specific locations, when indeed they have people who can access the main server. They access the main server, you have access to the bigger metadata storage, and then you can run your data. The money is paid to get the compatible computer and office devices to actually accommodate with the need. So what you guys are talking about, the problem that I have is to catch up with statistical and biological resources and knowledge. That's the only deficiency I can see. But don't come and tell me about it's working, it's not working. It means that you're freaking crazy. You have some problem. I know that some of you have some problems. I know some of you have some problems. Some of you believe that, you know, this guy, there's something wrong with him. He's always in the house. You know, you don't know what he's doing in the house. You know, some other people think that maybe I was sleeping, he's watching TV, he's playing video, you know. Yeah, and then, I don't know, what was giving you those information? Is that the FBI? No, I'm sorry, the CIA? Oh, maybe your neighbor. He's working for the NSA now? Well, he doesn't even know that they're also observing him. It's cracking story. You know, the poor guy or the poor lady. So the point is this: stop listening and believing in things that do not make sense. I'm not a miserable person, and I tell you, You have to run a company. You want to be successful. You have to be able to endure challenge. You don't run a company and become successful if you cannot start from scratch. I say start from scratch with no support other than the heaven if you believe in one, and go from there. Manufacture. You probably have a profile that people know of you, so it's another barrier, because people might be willing to test you, but at the end they might retain the willingness to help you just because of the profile of, they get scared, they don't know, maybe, because people come and tell them stuff. He gonna come and steal the money and go away. He gonna do that and go away. All right, so that's why I wanted to start with this, and that's it. And then now we're moving into the message from the heavens for the people of the United States, the people of the entire world, and the people in Washington DC, and the people in Cameroon, all these folks. Yesterday, people read the Bible and they said you only have to believe the Bible by faith. And before I go further today, I would like to tell you, it is pretty much over just to read the Bible and people can come and have a reason not to believe, because it is over now. Now science can prove that your soul exists. Science can prove that of the future. Science of the future can prove you that there is an operational system, an energy intelligence that function and that control the universe in which you're part of. Science can prove you that those holographic energy information code control the destiny tied into time and can revise you back to the past, tell you about the present, and even make you explore the future, because it is a function of time as well and space. It is over to believe in stuff. Now that to believe in talking about only through faith, I couldn't believe. I'm telling you that it's proving. The way God made people live 1,000 years, 100,000 years, that was not false. It can be proven today. And I'm working in that kind of science right now. People who are talking about Gabriel and Dawkins in applaud. No, I am pumping my mind with the knowledge that will save you tomorrow. When Jesus Christ is able to cure people completely, it is proven today by science, the science of the future. I can prove it to you. Not to defy the heaven, not to be above the heaven, but to glorify the heaven through my work, knowing that they are the one. And the reason why, and I can also prove to you that you can't even do anything. It's like try to change something that is already programmed and controlled by the person who created it. The operation system is in place. There's nothing you can do. And God knew that. If God start getting people inspired like me, it's because he knows his time based on his plan. He knows that there's nothing you can do. The operation system is already there. It's like somebody come and say, I'm gonna mix up, I'm gonna jack up the Microsoft software. I'm gonna jack up the Linux or Apple operation system. You can possibly do that. It will be very, very challenging. Only the people who created it can do that, because they made it with specificity that is distinguished into the idea on how they want operation to be done. You see, Apple they are all software, but they operate a little bit different, but to do the same thing. Just tell you, that's the way they put it. So you can come and change it. It's the same thing. That energy, information, intelligence, that hologram or that holographic energy information wave that exists, that intelligence, that control, that quasi-intelligence design that exists in the universe, control every single thing. And his main server, the network, because the software cannot truly operate efficiently worldwide without network. A software can operate without network just to upload and download certain thing from within, but not from outside. From outside, it will need the network. When I say from within, I'm not talking about within the computer. I'm talking about within the processors, and within the hardware and the software. So that's what I say within. From outside, I'm talking about inside the computer, but using data coming from a different server or a meta space. You need a network. And where did that network come from? Network is a series of computers hooked together to share information. Okay, a single network is a LAN, and you have a WAN, which is a larger network, pretty much corporate network, where you have multiple computers. Internet is a bigger network. That's what internet is. Computer server are connected together, and at the end they are all connected to what? A satellite that suck up that energy, part of that energy that I talk about, in a space, and dispatch it to be used. All the information are saved in that network. No information shared in a network ever gone. Your information is already uploaded there. Forget about it. You can delete it, but it's still gonna be safe. It's like your record is a sponge, right? Your record is a sponge. Certain people will not see your record, but people who have clearance can see your record. It's the same thing with the data of internet and network. I mean, they can still access it. All right? And the person who have a satellite in a more higher sphere from Earth have autonomy. And that's the battle of space today. People try to have more higher. So the more higher you are, what you cover, it means that you can oversee the network of the person below you. So whoever win the space win pretty much the world, because they can control. They can mix up other people network if they want, because they are both. The network is too cute, is in a space. So the person who's higher, have a higher satellite, can dominate other satellite below, and pretty much have access to the network in a certain way if they have a more advanced knowledge of breaking up the system, security system. So the point is this: science has proven it, and that's the reason why today I am introducing the new title as giving to me from the heaven today. They were here, the new title, and I say, Holy Power, Holy Heaven, Holy Power is a great Holy Power, Holy Heaven, Holy Power, Joshua Amashiach is a great. Now, let me say this, all right? The power of God reign on earth, and you were created and in His image to represent Him. And today, the title of this presentation is this: Suffering and Spiritual Medicine. Suffering and spiritual medicine is something they want me to talk about because it's very important. People are missing it. Suffering and spiritual medicine. When Jesus Christ spoke to Nicodemus, He said to Nicodemus that no one can enter the kingdom of my Father if you're not reborn again. He was talking about spiritual rebirth. Spiritual rebirth means that it doesn't mean that your spirit is completely dead. It means that your spirit is not nurtured enough to be close to God, because God is spiritual. So if God is spiritual, that is by default, you have to become more spiritual to connect to Him by default, because you're human by default. That's what it is. So now you have to grow spiritually. Now, this is the point. When you are born, your gene have no corruption. Your gene are pure. That's what they call innocent kid coming in, because the gene, everything is pure. The more you grow, the more corrupted your system become. And the more impure your spirit start getting affected. It means your spirit come pure. And your spirit grow according into your morphology. Because it's connected. Alright? It is your meta-DNA. It is your energy information DNA. Out of 98% of your body is made out of it. It's linked to that energy information substance. Made of energy particles that are composed of acoustic wave with specific messages that can be compacted into a MP3 to pass the code. We do not live because of what we eat. We do not live because of what we believe you are protected. Science is proving today, I'm telling you, you live because God wants you to live, my friend. And I'm proving it to you. I don't care if you believe in Him or not. We talk about science today. We talk about the proof, what you want to see, science. Because many folks are here talking about crazy stuff. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm using the Bible and I'm bringing it to a new transformations. When you're born, your fetus is formed. And before you're even born, the spirit is already ready to come. So God command specific angel, your guardian angel, and another angel will have a special mission, like a medical doctor of birth. He comes straight into the spiritual route to inject that spirit into the newborn. before it even start growing, because it must be one. So the meta-DNA commonplace have the same spiral form as your material DNA. Every single organism that exists in this earth have a meta-DNA. Every single organism have a meta-DNA. So even the leaves, the leaf of the trees, so when you take the DNA out of its normal position, you point into that DNA before you even take it out. Laser light into the DNA. You point to the DNA a laser light. The DNA is spiral. It has a specific shape as the universe form. The universe is spiral. In the center of the universe is the heavens, which is a main universal star. I call it universal star because it's big as a universe, but it is like a star because it have light, it's luminous, and is the one that provide the energy and balance to the entire universe. It is the foundation, the whole of the universe. So when you look how the genes are spirit, they are spirit in a divine way. When you take the wavelength of the ratio of two waves or two spiral of the DNA, you obtain the divine number that is called phi. It is the same thing. If you go in a universe in a bigger spectrum, you're going to have the same thing. You're going to have the same rational number. So when they put the pinpoint that laser light into the DNA, that laser light start spiral by itself because the DNA is in motion. So when you take the DNA out, the laser light still spiral, and it's still spiral because left in that wormhole you have the meta-DNA that have pretty much the same structure as the DNA, but a little bit more feature on it. The collection of chromosome continuum. So the laser light continues to spiral because there is a left meta-DNA that is activated by an energy from outer space. So you have your meta-DNA there. The meta-DNA and your DNA have the capability of exchanging information, sharing information through the network. They use photons. They call amblyophoton. That's how I call it, amblyophoton, with acoustic and electromagnetic wave with specific frequency. They give the message. They have code message that they give into your codon, into your triplet, into your genes. So the meta-DNA, the information comes from the network. The cylinder of light in which every single one of us is integrated into. It is a holographic energy information intelligence with specific code that sustain the function of our DNA, the way it functions from the basis into the formation of proteins. So what it does provide a specific energy. That energy is called the blue ultraviolet laser light. It is a gene hologram, composed of manuscript, written manuscript by an author, which is God in this. It is a digital segment of informations in the form of energy. So it comes in to feed your DNA. The sun, the photons of the sun have those energy information as well. They take it to photosynthesis, store it into the lift. When you eat vegetable, it go into your body, it feed your DNA. That's why you eat, because that's what it does. When you think, your brain produces energy that's transformed as well in that specific structural light, photons that feed your DNA. Take action. Your emotion, your heart produce an energy as well that is reduced into that blue ultraviolet laser light that have those specific messages encoded. Your cellular metabolism also feed your DNA as well. So you have what you eat as one processor, your metabolism as one processor, your thought as one processor, and your emotion as another processor. Now, the operation system is controlled by God. He created it, like Bill Gates created Microsoft, like Steve Jobs created Apple, like the creator of Linux made Linux software. It tells the computer, the hardware, what to do. The hardware have the scheme, the blueprint of what need to be done, but it cannot do it because it doesn't have a command how to do it. Now, that's where Bill Gates came in place, and that's where God come in place. And he say into the body, the material body, the material DNA, something that you can see, that can store information. He said, this is what I want you to do. And in order for the software to give the command to the hardware what to do, he must use the CPU, the central processor unit. So the central processor units take the information from the software and tell the hardware what to do, and the information is retrieved and exchanged and posted into your screen. So now the information sent into your material DNA come from where? It comes from your metaDNA that is connected into that holographic chromosome continuum of universal energy. So it come in, and every single one of them have the electromagnetic field, and that's where the information is exchanged. You cannot exchange information or communicate with something or with a person if you don't speak the same language. So your material DNA itself have its own produced electromagnetic field, and that's how the information is fed within. So the information is transferred from the energy informations electromagnetic field substance to the electromagnetic field of the material DNA into the DNA, because it must communicate with the same language, the same route. It must communicate with the same language. So this is how it goes. Through those photons, embryo, they call it embryo, it goes and it does have thousands of embryo, thousands of photons embryo. That's where the information is stored that give the command. It speak. If it's because people didn't use that biocomputer, I don't have all the funding right now to challenge those folks at this point. So I mean, to be compatible to those folks who are doing that secret research at this moment. Now it comes with specific message. It speak. It gives command into your genes, and that's how your gene operate accordingly when the processor start getting informations. And it have to have healthy energy information message to code the gene accordingly so that you can be healthy. That's how you're healthy, when you eat healthy food. Because the feeling that's coming through that light comes with healthy coding informations. So the information go from the first photon embryo of the energy information substance or level or field to the first embryo of the material DNA. I mean, through his electromagnetic field produced. And the information is also shared from, because when the first embryo I use, it cannot use the same embryo. It must go to the next one. So the second embryo of your material DNA send information to the energy information DNA through his second embryo as well, and so forth and so forth. So they exchange informations. So when your metaDNA get information from your material DNA, it is called uploading information, because your metaDNA have a more larger space and processor. So you upload it. It's connected to the universe. But your DNA, when it get information from your metaDNA code receive, it download the information. And it is important that exchange, because your metaDNA need to know the state of health of your material DNA in order for it to proceed with right code. And the way God made the codons, the triplets of your genes, those triplets have the possibility of exchanging place. And that's how it is important to eat well, to not be exposed to many toxic or toxins or pollutants. Because if one code end up in the wrong place, exchange with another code, and then mixed up the sequence, you're going to have the production of the wrong proteins that will mix you up. And that's what happened. So the information come, and the information tell the code what to do. That's the reason why visually medical doctor truly don't know how it does operate, is because it's a science that is coming, that I'm working on right now. When I say the people that I'm running a multi-billion-dollar company, they think I'm joking. So this is how God worked it out. When people like Noah live 900 years, people think, oh, that was a story. No, it's not. It is provable now, but with what I'm talking about. What God does, He's the one who constructed the operation system, the higher intelligence. The difference between us that science have not seen today, I'm telling you, the difference between us is not because we are different like people say. We have almost 99% of the same genes, genomes. The difference between us and the chimpanzee is only 2%. We are similar to the chimpanzee 98%. But this is the trick that medical researchers have not discovered yet. It is not about the amount of DNA you are similar. It is about that difference you have. Why? Because the sequence is what makes the difference. God have programmed many millions and even billions of sequences that lead into the productions of proteins and different proteins. You have about 64 kind of proteins of code triplet. 64 kind out of 20 kind of amino acid. So one amino acid have about 3 different code or triplet, because there are 64. 4 to the power 3. You have 4 base, 3 triplet within the 4 base represent the code. So they multiply that by power 3 to find the number of possibility of code that can possibly exist. So it's 64. Now there's only 20 amino acids, so one amino acid have about 3 code. Now you have about 70 to 90,000 proteins that the body have, and you have about 70 to 100 genes that the body have, and one helix of a single DNA have about 3.1 billion nucleotide. So now the point is this: the sequence in which God gave into the DNA is what makes the difference. You and I can only have 1%, because all of us in this earth only have like 1% different, about 1% difference. But that is a lot when you talk about billion of sequence. Because if it is only 1%, what is happening is this: our sequence, it is the sequence that produces your body. Because you have 70,000 proteins that are formed that make your body. And then out of those 70, and then out of the 100, you have 30,000 genes that represent your character. So you have 70,000 to 100,000 genes, 100,000 genes, pretty much 100,000 genes. 70 are for your body, and 30 are for your character and your personality. That's where the difference comes. The sequence of arrangement of those codes. It's not about, because people are surprised, they say, why do we have only 1% of difference between us, but it's so different? It's because the missing point is about the sequence of arrangement. Billion of sequence of arrangement that God put in place. And that sequence of arrangement that He put in place is what makes us different. And it have to do with the way you were made, the way your spirit was made. Your specific spirit was made with this genome, because your metaDNA have additional information. It is software. Your material DNA comes from your father. It can be known and mother, but your metaDNA comes with additional information that is fed by the operation system and the network. the hyper communication network. And it feed informations into those DNAs, into those codons. And it's like talking, the specific language. And semantic, specific language and semantic in which those code are there into and they align. So the quantum biocomputer retrieve those code in a form of acoustic wave and compact it as sound. And as soon as you listen to those sound, you start feeling better. But it must come from a healthy individual. Mostly they use the placenta, they use the embryo blood and so on, because it is pure. It comes with the true code, straight, the way God made it, with no error. Because what happens is that when you grow, when you're born, you have no error. Like the computer, when you just have the computer run well, the operation system run well, and then in time you start getting bad stuff on it, and then the computer start recording errors. The next time you know, your computer starts slowing down because your processor got infected by virus because of the error accumulations. And they're talking about you have to clean up your entire computer. It's the same thing. So when we are born perfect and clean. So when we start getting in, we're getting our thoughts infected. So the information that our thoughts start releasing as a processor start releasing bad energy information into our DNA, and it comes with wrong codes. It start having those simple mutations, sometimes high mutation, depending on how you get exposed. You start eating bad food. The bad food now come up, because it goes into what? The food that you eat don't have the proper blue ultraviolet light with the proper photons, and embryo with proper code. So it will mix up the arrangement of genes and produce the wrong proteins, and you start getting sick. That's pretty much what it is. So when God made somebody like Noah, all those people, or Adam, live like 1,000 years. How does he do? The metaDNA and the gene hologram, which is in the form of holographic grid framework videos, waves, or epigenes matrix waves, or film image with acoustic sound and specific frequency, it go in and it does revitalize your organs. God produced the operation system. What you have to do, he send the proper code, and he rejuvenate every single organ that you have, depending on what organ you want to rejuvenate. He rejuvenated. That's how they were able to live longer. Because what killed us is not God who put death. And that's a new discovery. It's not God who really put death into our life. We did with the sins. Because the sins kill us. What we eat, what we thinking, the impurity of our genes modify the genetic code. And the genetic code start accumulating error and error and error and error. And that's how the production become deficient. And we age and we die quicker. So what happens is this: if you are able to eat well and think well, control your emotion, you will generate better healing energy informations into your DNA, into your triplets of your genes, the encoded triplet of your genes. So what they have to do, is that they only have to take a healthier pancreas. A healthier pancreas, what they do, they expose those pancreas or an organ to heavy chemical. Both of them, they take the similar organ and they expose them into chemical that will kill the glands to produce new cells and revitalize cells, healthy cells and tissues, to start reproducing the gland and come back to function, normal function. So what they do, they retrieve healthy energy informations from the similar organs to a different species or different individual. They retrieve that information using quantum biocomputer process. So when they take those energy informations with healthy information within, they expose one of the organs, and the one that they expose with those energy information, healthy energy informations, start getting better and better and start generating new glands. When they start generating new glands, the person starts feeling better, or the animal start feeling better. They even went further and talk about photo stuff. It is something, and that's what God used. It is not just believing in the Bible. The Bible is true. It is proven today. God can make an individual live 1,000 years, even forever, if he wants. And I can promise you, with the science that we're working on, that I am going into, this new science, people will be able to live longer according to God's plan, because he's the one, and I'm always going to be saying that he's the one who constructed, who built the energy information. No one should use these. God will mix it up. People will be able to cure any form of disease. People will be able to live longer using that new technology and new medicines. It is true. It is the truth. It is the true medicine. It is what God used, and a portion should only be given into mankind to see his glory, not to glorify themselves. God will shut that down. To glorify God, for people to live better and longer and see his glory, because he's the one who constructed the software. You cannot corrupt it. You cannot modify it. It is already made. It does have specific acoustic messages with specific frequency, in which the code obey. And it's God who constructed all of that. So you cannot do anything other than what he wants you to do. It is something I want people to know. This is to help humanity. People will be able to live longer. People will be able to cure all form of disease. But let me tell you, Satan will not let it happen like that. The reason why I believe God is inspiring people at this specific era is because it is according to his plan. Lucifer will come with disease that will be more challenging to man. Disease that will affect the human body such that Only this form of medicine can cure it. And that's the reason why. But to any bad thing, there's always good thing coming. With this coming out, people will be able to rejuvenate the organ naturally using what God created, not using fake clicking stuff. It is the same process he used for Abraham. It is the same process he used for Noah. It is the same process he used for Adam, for all those people, or Enoch, that live longer. It is God. He does exist. The Bible that you're reading, those people talking about Scientology, all those freaking stuff. This is the thing. Every single one of us have a light of cylinder of light, the heaven pathway, the heaven gateway in them. It manifests through holographic messages. Goes how you respond to it. If today, if you die, and there's many ways you can transit from earth to heaven, but you're always going to use the heaven portal. The heaven portal are pathway that connect the material world to the spiritual world. Indeed, you can reach the spiritual world because it does exist, but you're going to have to drive for infinity to get there. The heaven, which is the center of all the universe, but it moved. It is not truly a center, but it is a center by appearance, because it is above. But because the earth, the entire universe is spiraled, from a distance it is seen as the center, because it is the center of this field, and it can move to reach out into earth. And it does it that way. He made a spiral so that it can oversee all the layer of the universe from their position. Geometrically, it makes sense. Physically, it makes sense. Because when things are spiral, you see all the layer. You overview all the layer. And surely, far distance, you do. Yeah, and you see it very well. Because they don't overlaps. They are spiraled, so they follow each other, but in a certain way that they alter, so you can see them as they progress from smaller to larger. And they are portal. So this won't happen if you die today and you have either your guardian angel will follow up with you. If you don't see your guardian angel and you're going up into the cylinder of light that is in there as portal, a heaven gateway or heaven portal, you call it like that. It is the energy information, the holographic energy information of the Starlight. It speaks to you. It's like a computer. Live. It is even a 3D printer as well. It can show you images like those images are alive. So when you go there, if you don't see your guardian angel, right away, going up, it means that You're not dead. God wants to show you something, or He wants to warn you about something. You will surely return. So going up, you will be able to see all your life in that holographic videotape information system, quasi-design intelligence. You see all your life, what you have done wrong and what you have done well, and you will be in a form with your meta DNA. So therefore, you will have access to the higher intelligence. So you will know exactly if you are pass or fail before you reach the destination by yourself. And you see all your life into that specific point. Everything that you have done, that is good or bad. So it will be written like a writing thing, and then picture come out. Everything. You see yourself, you see everything you have done from when you were born. Even you start from there. And then when consciousness came, and then after 4 or stuff like that, into that specific time. So by the time you reach the heaven, you'll be able to see the universe as you move into the portal. It will show you every single thing. And then by the time you get into the heaven, you'll be like, I fell by yourself. And God gonna say to you, by grace, that's the reason why you're here. So if you don't see your guardian angel, it means that you're not gonna die. He's gonna show you something. There is a lady that have that experience, and until today she don't know why. So she was in the party, and she fainted out, and her body left. And when her body left, she was able to see the same house, but move into a different location from the house, because even our house have an energy parallel of the same. Every single thing. It means that if you are in that dimension, if you die today, you will see the same thing that you see here, but in an energy form into that dimension. And what she saw, she saw a tape called Cautious. Until today, she don't know why she saw that tape. Cautious, it was a message. It means we living in an holographic, quasi-intelligent energy world controlled by God. And God was telling her, it's yellow tape, cautious. So it means that be careful. That's all. Before she depart up. And when she depart up, she was able to see all her life. And she get into that level. She stopped. Because when you go, you see darkness, 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 darkness. And it's more light. That the cylinder of light, you in there. But beside it, you see darkness. You see darkness. By the time you reach, you're getting close and close to heaven, the light is bigger and bigger, and darkness is pretty much gone, because it is the source of light. Everything light operates in heaven in all sides. You cannot see your shadow. So she didn't reach heaven. She was then, in the middle, in between. And God was able to talk to her. She realized that she was not qualified to get in based on her own assessment. because you cannot corrupt the soul. The soul is pure. God make you go into that to judge yourself. And she say, I want to go back. And God said to her, prove it. And she went back down to her body, and then she came alive. So you have to prove to God that you are willing to work with Him. And that's what I say to people. Stop preaching the practice of Jesus Christ. Start practicing the teaching of Jesus Christ. Let people see His practice through you. Through you. It means that through your behavior, through your character, through the way you operate your life. Let people see the practice through you. Not through your mouth, but through your character. Many people today, they build bigger church and they speak about the practice of Jesus Christ through their mouth, and you cannot see it into the character. You got to be able to prove it. Like God said to that lady, prove it. God put cautious. Be careful. You might lose this soul if you wanted to stay with the thing of this earth. It is temporary things. They are not eternals. So every single one of us you should say thank you to God, because God is love. God is forgiveness. God is also a grateful God, because He's the one who gives you the character. If God come to you today and speak in His normal form, spiritual form, man, you will be amazed about the voice. His voice is the combination of all human beings that exist. Voice. I mean, it is a voice, like the lady said, it is a voice. It is the optimum voice. If He speak, His voice is calm and is perfect. It's like the combination of all voices of all human beings that exist. And even those that you have that do not exist even yet. So it's the optimum voice. And for some reason you know it. So what does that mean? It means that every single one of us represent God. Small portion of character. So God gave us a portion of His voice. Like somebody give you a portion of the song that you have to sing. That's the same thing. So He take one portion of His voice, like my voice that I speak right now, is a small portion of God's voice. Is a portion. The voice of John Joe is a portion. The voice of John Smith is a portion. It's the same thing with His character. My character is a portion of God's character. So if you take everybody's voice in this earth, they all speak together. Let's say you put them in a voice recording, universal voice recording hooked up into a satellite, and you hook everybody up with the same connection, and you say at this specific time I want everybody to speak this specific word, or to say this specific word. When you have all those voices at the same time, they will be close to the voice of God. Close, because there are still many to come. That's what I said. They are still close, and there are still many before us. So it will be close to his posture of his voice. So the character, if you take everyone character, you put that in a tape and you run it like a videotape, they are a portion of God's character. So you're gonna see somebody singing, somebody dancing, somebody, that's pretty much God right there. Yeah, that's true. Somebody boxing, yes, of true. Somebody doing crazy stuff, fighting, hijacking, that's true. Driving Ferrari, that's true. Driving a horse, that's true. He do that. Playing golf, soccer, that's what it is. So some people are gonna do the same thing, but with different force and different skills. And where do those skills come from? It's because the structure of your spirit, the strength of your spirit, the way it code your material DNA. So when people stay here and believe that, no, I don't believe God exists, I'm telling you, you living today not because of what you eat. You are living today not because of what you believe in. You're living today because God, the creator, the architect, if you want to call it, the entity that created that operational software is letting you exist. Because that's what it is. Without that code, that software and processor, you cannot be alive. Your body will be like a collections of organs. That's it. Pretty much dead. And it is a reason why your metaDNA exit. It does exit what? It does exit your body. Why your metaDNA exit your body? Why do your soul exit your body when you die? When God decides to say, that's your time. Because your processor are not operational anymore. There's no way they're going to communicate. Your brain is dead. It's one of the processor. You cannot eat anymore. It's one of the processor. Your heart cannot beat anymore. It's one of the processor. You will not have any more material cellular metabolism. It's one of the processor. That's why. So you leave your body. Another proof that God exists, and that's how He's proceed. This is not about fairy tale or thing. I'm proving to you scientifically, my friend. If you take this software out of this computer is just gonna become a collection of pieces of stuff. You never have a computer where your operation system is not working? When somebody come and tell you, what's going to be your computer? Ah, come on, man. I don't know what's going on, It's a computer. It look good. But there's no software on it. Everyone will tell you that. It's the same thing. When you don't have your soul in you, you're dead. The soul is what makes you exist. Because it tells your body what to do, how to produce proteins. Look your body how it goes. This do this, this do that. Science has not proven that yet. They only know how it functions, but they don't know what trigger that functions or those functions. It is the science that I'm talking about, that meta science. It is the science I'm talking about. It's what makes you alive. You know, there is a world that exists. There is a world that exists beyond this world, my friend. An individual like us cannot create all of these. You never went out of space. You looked at the universe yourself and realized that no, that's not possible. What kind of probability of chance that this thing can be exactly like this in balance? It's impossible. It is a lot of precision and concisions that it cannot be a probability of chances, because in chances you're going to have a lot of errors based on the referentials. In chances you're going to have a lot of error based on the referential, because you got to have a referential. All right, evolution tell you about things happen by chances and things that are not necessary are put aside, because it's about survival. Well, in this earth, in this universe, there's nothing that is not necessary or important. It was based on the discovery back then, based on the knowledge. What they thought was like our genome, only about 2% of what I'm talking about here. I was talking about is what made our proteins. It is our material DNA. And the other part, the 98%, they call it junk DNA. That actually was the real matter. You know? Because they were looking for what? They were looking for similarity and they find all the genome. But the other 98%, very important, because it is what makes us different. So you have to know that science is coming to prove that there is an intelligence out there that is bigger than human being, that created all of these things. You wake up in the morning, the only thing you got to think of is about yourself. God didn't send people here to think about themselves. God was able to share with people. He shared his character with us. He shared his voice with us, my friend. Something have to start somewhere. God have to have an art for every single voice to come out. When you go to a recording studio, those guys have to sit there and try to find specific sound. Or they have to use a lot of of an instrument to come with that voice. You're born, you start talking. Specific voice with specific frequency. Sound wave. Specific to you. They take John Joe voice and have a different frequency in sound wave. They take John Smith, a different sound wave and frequency. How do that be? You tell me. I mean, is that by chance? I mean, I don't understand what is different for people to give their life into God, even if they are not religious, and start doing the thing that they believe their conscience is against to, that follow God advice. Many people will say that you got to be able to join communities and be able to be with community, because with community you grow. Yes, Jesus Christ say one person can do just enough, but two can do more. That's true. He's right. But will you do that is more with the right person or the wrong person? Well, you're going to say to me that with the right person, and you're also going to say that it is up to the person who define the wrong person. Yeah, it's also subjective. But if you look, Jesus Christ, he came in this earth. He didn't went to the press of that time and say, hey, I want you to go into your job today, and I want you to say that Jesus Christ of Nazareth is looking for 12 people. This is the contact. If they wanted to see me, they can come to this address, and I will interview them and see which one I'm going to select. It was an option that Jesus Christ can do. But instead, this is what he did. They haven't told him after the 40 days in the desert, the Holy Spirit will guide you to whom you have to bring in. You will know when you see them. You found one in this location, one in that location, one in this location, these circumstances, and this and this and that. So Jesus Christ chooses. They haven't ordained Jesus Christ to choose the people specifically and carefully, because they have a purpose. They wanted to have Judah in a group because it was God's purpose. Some of us function. They don't know that God have a purpose for us. I mean, they start talking about you can only go out there and start choosing people to be friends with you. No, those people that you're choosing must be, the energy information ready must be in synchronization with God's purpose with regard into your information ready and purpose. You bring people in your life that God didn't assign into your life. It's like you go in the wrong direction in a highway. You know what happens, isn't it? You're gonna crash. That's what people, when they face isolations, they start going and look for friends. So Jesus Christ went and he made a specific, it's in your Bible. He chooses those people one by one and carefully, according into God's design and command. To the people going to come and tell you, you got to be part of a community. You know, you cannot succeed out of the community. Those are the people who come and teach manpower instead of God power. Those are Luciferic teaching. I wanted to give you an advice today that was given to me by the heaven. Anyone who's going to be talking about manpower, you have to know that it's talking about Luciferic doctrines to undoctrine people to say that they can also be powerful by themselves. There is no such a thing like manpower without God. You cannot talk about going and find people without putting God in that equation. You are ministering Luciferic teaching. That is the teaching of the 666. 666 is about manpower. You put yourself alone with the wrong people, you're going to be damaging yourself. Because it does not have to do often with how you look physically. It has to do with your spiritual structure. There are people that do not like you at all. Internally, it's because your spiritual structure truly do not trust with them in that specificity of relations. Maybe in the specificity because the spiritual structure have a lot of fibers, and every single particles and fiber have a specific dimension in space and time. So one fiber of your spiritual structure might cross with the other fiber that correspond that you might be living closer as neighbors. But the other fibers that is specific into relationship are not crossing. So they will not like you. They don't gonna like you. So don't say because we are neighbor we have to. No. You have to pray to God and let the Holy Spirit guide you to whom you have to be friend with. It is thing that people don't understand. And in this call, I don't know, with this technology that Lucifer is bringing in this nation, people are losing their mind. It is about the spiritual structure. The spiritual structure have many fibers. You might be meeting a person into that specificity of work trends. You work together, but in relationship, those particles are not meetings. The spiritual fiber are not meeting. And that's why the heaven is saying to you, consult with us to make sure that the radi or the radius, spiritual radius, is in synchronization with yours in that specific area before you can go any more further. It is very simple and clear. Jesus Christ went into the desert, linked himself into the spiritual world. Jesus Christ told you, it's in the Bible. You cannot say that you want to work with God if you don't become spiritual. Jesus Christ that people claim today that he's the Son of God, he came on earth, and then no. Listen, he's the Son of God. But God used the same procedure as he used to you. He came in this earth like you. Okay, he probably came from the seed of a woman with the Holy Spirit. That's true. But he came like you. He came like you. So don't use that excuse that like he was a supernatural person when he came here. Jesus Christ came in this earth like you. And he became who he became because of the choice he made. You have to know that. It is something that people are missing. It seems like he has something in his mind who's telling him that you are God. No, no, no. He learned harder to get close to God. He came in this earth like you. He faced the same challenges like you. He have a gift that he utilized very well. Like you have a gift that you don't utilize very well because you spend all your time looking at how the other person is doing. So he went to the desert for 40 days without eating because he have to do it to connect with God. Is that what you call, what was his, what, father? Somebody have to do 40 days in the desert to do that? That's who God is. So who are you who call Jesus Christ the Son of God not to do 40 days? It is in your Bible. You can't talk about open the Bible and read it. I'm telling you what is in your Bible. So God, Jesus Christ did 40 days in the desert to connect with his own people. Because God is spiritual. In order to connect with God, you have to also work in the spiritual. And to work in the spiritual, you have to deny your flesh. You have to be able to nurture your spirit. It means fasting. Fasting and prayer are the two keys to nurture your spirit. There's no other key. Fasting and prayer are the two things to nurture your spirit. So that's what he did. So after that, he got connected with the heaven. The heaven came and lived where he was in the desert. He was able then, and in the desert, the heaven allowed Lucifer to come and test him, like you have your test today in this life. Financial problems, health problems, divisional problems, people with pride looking at you down. Those are the tests. He was hungry. He didn't have money. Lucifer came and said, transform this rock into bread. Some of us gonna say, man, I gotta do what I gotta do. Because that's what they know. I gotta do what I gotta do. You reading the story of Jesus Christ, so simple. It was not so simple like you think, because he was going to the same toughest situation going on today. Your car is broke, your paycheck, you're metering it, you have a lot of difficulties, and somebody come with an easy pass. You tell me how easy it will be for you to say no. It's an easy story. It's not an easy story. So after that, they propose him stuff. Well, after the difficulties, and that's the same strategy Lucifer used today. I'll come back to that later on. So he went instructed what to do. Choose this, choose this, choose this. This based on God's plan. That's the reason why Judah was chosen. Because they knew Judah gonna have to do God's purpose to be the trader. That was God's purpose and plan as well. But if Judah have not killed himself, he should have not been in hell. If Judah has repented like Saul, he should have become a greater minister and apostle like Paul became, like Saul became Paul. Because Saul killed a lot of Christians. Yeah, you're gonna say, yeah, Lucifer, Judah sold Jesus. Let me tell you, there's no difference. If you hurt a Christian, when you hurt a Christian, it's like you hurting Jesus Christ. When you kill a Christian, it's like you have just killed Jesus Christ. So Paul have done it. So it was called Saul. So the thing that made Judah go to hell is because he killed himself after that. It's not because of what he did, because what he did was already previewed by God. So in life, it's not about what happened to you, it's how you respond to it. Because what happened to you was already previewed, and God and the heaven want to see how you're going to react. That's what happened. What happened to Saul, when Saul was persecuting the Christian, he was actually persecuting Jesus Christ. He was killing Jesus Christ. The same thing Judah did. But what? Paul went to heaven. He's in heaven today, very close to God. So the point is this. When he got his punishment, he realized his disappointment. When Jesus Christ appeared to him and said, so why are you persecuting me? And because he have too much hate toward Jesus Christ, he was trying to go to Jesus Christ, trying to hold him. Like he wanted to also arm him. But unfortunately, he didn't know with whom he was dealing with. Jesus Christ is in the spirit. He's in a different being. His thought beat you without even him doing something. It's a different word. So when Saul tried to come close, the Holy Spirit did his work with the thought of Jesus Christ. He got projected in a distance and he became blind. So God said to him, it is the solution I have to put you in, so you have to stop. You're going to stop. You stop persecuting my people. So you have to become blind. Alright? God didn't promise anything to him. He just made him blind. Because he was the one up front. He was not giving others. Because if he was giving others, maybe God would take his voice. He was the one in front. Because that's the contract he signed with the high priest. So what happened is he became blind. God didn't say anything, he didn't promise anything. He went back to where he lived. He could not see for 3 days. During those 3 days, he repented. He didn't say, I'm going to kill myself. He had the possibility of doing that. So, but he repented. He understood and he saw and he knew the truth. After he repented, he went to every single thing he had done and he saw the regret that going after and then that's the true power for what he saw. Now God said, it is time. God sent the same person, one of the person that he persecuted, a Christian. Jesus Christ sent him there with the healing, the blessing of healing in his hand. And he went there and he did in the name of Jesus Christ, and the sight of Saul became open. I mean, God said to that individual, He said to him that I sent you, and his name will now be Paul. And when he opened his when Saul opened his eyes, he saw the person he almost killed. He killed the family of that man. All of them. He was scared. So now I'm over. And the guy said, no, Jesus Christ came and talked to me to come and see you, to open your eyes, and to tell you this message that your name will be Paul and you will be choosing to dispatch the gospel around the world. Why now God reversed the situation? He was known to destroying the Christian. Now he will be known to talk about the word of Jesus Christ, and he will attract more attention. That's the plan. God walked in plan. So it's not about what happened to you, it is how you respond to it. Because when things happen to you, they're observing. Because they know the future. They're observing. They see how you're going to react. If Saul have reacted with anger, he should have not become Paul. If Saul have reacted like, I don't care about this, I have to do what I gotta do, he should have ended up forgotten. He should have his name should have been like the name of Judah, that no one wanted to have that name. So that's exactly what it is. And right away, God have to change that name to Paul, because Saul was not a good name that God want to deal with. That's why God have to change that name in the first place. That name was a sign. He signed a contract with the high priest to kill Christian. So that name is linked into killing. So you have to change that name to Paul, and the name that's written in those papers are not me anymore. My new name is Paul now. So God knows everything that's going on in this earth. People who are doing conspiracy behind the scene, you are doing stuff, you're thinking when you're going to exit this earth. Everything that you have done going to come out in that holographic energy information, quasi-intelligent design system of the universe. You see it. You will see every single detail. I'm telling you, it's like a film, video film. It is above the 3D. I mean, it's like you are on it. Like you went back into that time and then you saw it and then you were there watching and then you come back to it. It will be exactly like that. Like you're living it. So that's pretty much how I can describe it. It's not like you're watching it. It will be like you're living it. Because God wants you to live it. So with the intelligence that you have right now, you derive yourself that affair will pass. Because you are in your right sense, in the spirit, in soul, so you decide that. Suffering is the medicine of the spirit. Suffering is the medicine of the spirit. When you get sick, what makes you sick? What makes you sick is the bad food you eat, is what you get exposed into, either by your hand or by your eyes or by the environment, or what you eat, put your mouth. Mostly what you touch and what you eat and what you breathe determine your state of health. Now, when you get sick, you need medicine. You need medicine that will play a role of eradicating the toxin in your body. An example, if you eat unbalanced, unhealthy food, what happens is that your body start accumulating acid. And the way God designed the body is that when you have acid in your body, the body produces fat cells to store that acid in it. Because acid is not good for anything. You see, acid, the normal acid, actually what they do is it does fry organism. It fried, it destroyed. So if that acid that comes from what you eat, that tastes nice or good in your mouth, but bad for your body after the metabolism process, catabolism and metabolism process, it becomes acidic. And when it becomes acidic, what your body does, your body produces fat cells to store those acid in it, so that your body can be protected, your other organ can be protected, or other cells can be protected. That's what it does. So the more acid that is produced by what you eat, the more fat cells are produced, and the more fat cells produced, the more big you become. That's why you see when people start getting weight, it's because more productions of fat cells. Why? Because of more acid into the system. And the more acid that you have in your system, the more cholesterol your liver produces. So the more acid you have in your system, the more cholesterol you're going to find in your system. And that's why people that have some weight have a lot of cardiovascular disease, because the coronary is packed and full of cholesterol. They have all kind of problems because of that. So how to reduce the production of the fat cells and eradicate those acid and eliminate those fat cells, unnecessary fat cells that are there? You have to eat what's alkaline. Alkaline means basic. Your body is about the pH. If the pH in your cell is acidic, you'll be sick. If the pH must be neutral, it means 7. If your pH, and God chose the right number, 7, all right, that is the spiritual number, a divine number. So your pH have to be 7. If your pH is less than 7, your cell become acidic. If your pH is more than 7, is basic, is alkaline. But the body will better be off functioning in an alkaline system than in an acidic system, because the acid is not good for anything. I mean, the bad acid that have no function other than destroying your body. So when you eat what is alkaline, it will reduce, the alkaline will reduce the pH of your cell close to 0. It will neutralize it. That's how they call it. And when it neutralizes it, all the acid are gone and those storage become empty. Therefore, your body start eliminating those fat cells, and that's how you lose your weight. There's no magic about this, my friend. Yeah, I'm here. He doesn't have any job and stuff. You think all the knowledge I have, I can sit down with somebody and talk about crazy stuff without having 6 figure in my paycheck? I can be a personal trainer, and I'm gonna start even the program as a personal trainer for wealthy people. Because only I'm going to tell them about how the body functions and how God is keeping them alive. I didn't money to raise to enhance those programs to save people life future and serve the world. So now when you start eating well, where will you get those alkaline food? You have to get it from vegetable, from fruits, from plants, and from enzyme. That's why your diet must also be full of vegetable or greens, because green bring very good nutrients for your body, include neutralizing your pH, and also bring those light, ultraviolet cold photons in to feed your DNA. Animal also get those photons because they eat the plants. The plants store those photons from the sun. So it's all a cycle. God did it very intelligent and being. So the animal also store that. So when we eat the animal, we also get that from there. But with the other proteins and nutrients that are not more necessary from the animal, so that's why you have to mix your diet with a lot of vegetable. You'll be more healthy. So it's the same thing with your spirit. Your spirit gets sick because of the sin that you do. So you go there, you want to be proud. You always want to show people that you have the better car. That's pride problems. You want to come out to show people how good how good you look. That's pride problem. You want to come out, you always wanted to be the first person. That's being proud. You want to go somewhere, you always want to be the person who speaks first and more and end the conversation. That's pride problem. You always want to come out and you people have to talk to you. You don't want to talk to people. That's pride problem. If people don't work the way you want them to work, you don't want to deal, you don't want to like them. That's pride problem, because it's all about you. So selfishness lead into proud. Selflessness lead into humility. And many of us don't even know that they're sinning when they do that. They even have an ethical code. That ethical code violation is sin. You don't have to go and kill a person to sin. Those ethical code violations are already sins. Because God is perfect, He's a spirit, He's good, He's perfect. So when you start sinning, you start having pride. I'm better, I'm best. And who's intelligent than me? My idea first. I have money in the bank, so what? If you don't find that humility, my friend, you'll be miserable in your life. God is not looking for people like that. God is looking for people who have humility regardless of their position into this earth. You know, you got humility, you look your money and say, you know what? Or you look your position, you say, you know what? I have nothing. If I have no God, I don't have God, because He's the one who sustains my life. I just proved to you that He's the one who sustains life. It's not what we eat. It's not where we sleep. It's not the environment we are. We feel comfortable. I'm here. I feel protected. You see what I mean? In order for people to get me, they have to go to all of these people before they get to me. Man, you have some mental problems. God don't have to do all of that. His spirit come. He doesn't care if you're protected by those demons. They're all going to run away when God occurs. When God sends His angel of death, they're all going to run away. Those demons that you see, they are only big here on earth. In space, they can show that they do stuff, but they have no importance. God gives them opportunity in space to function, because God want to know how far they will go. That's all. They made a decision. They say, we won't challenge you. God said, okay, no problem. Let's go ahead. So they're going to show you many things, like, they go there and do this. God is allowing that to happen. But they have no power. When the angel of God show up, they all run away like, if you can see it, you're going to be laughing. They run away more than coward. That's what they do. When you look back, where are you? They're gone. Now you're facing the truth. Those demons are only powerful here on earth. That's all. And their power is controlled by God as well, on how it must function. They don't function because they want to. They function according to God. And they use 3 different strategies. They come after your finance, because they know this world is bounded around money. So they come after people's finance. Finance is the main thing. They know that if they get you financially, you're done. So they come after your health. They know that your health is also very vital, because your health is going to lead you into financial problems as well. So everything with Lucifer is about money. It's about money. Because this world that's supposed to be spiritual became materialistic. So it became materialistic. That was not God's plan. God didn't plan for this. Even if He allowed it to happen, He gave an option. He said, this is what I want to do. But if the people are created wanted to go against, I have divinity, I can challenge those that are created, so we go with that. The world God wanted to create here on earth was a spiritual world, with no finance attached to it. Everything, just follow the law, follow God, obey God, and you have everything you need. Praise God, wake up in the morning, pray God, just pray God, just praise Him, you have everything. That's how the world is supposed to be, and that's what the world will become when Jesus Christ returns. Because earth is going to have a judgment. Not your judgment, you'll be judged when you exit. That's what it is. So He target your finance. He come with your health, against your health. Your health, you're going to have a lot of medical bill you have to pay. You will not be able to work so hard to get finance. So it will lead you into finance collapse. And He inject division among people. Because with division, less opportunity, less collaboration, and people are not into one. So problems. Those are the 3 tactics Lucifer used, and the demons. I can feel them so mad right now against me. He's saying that's exactly what we didn't want. We don't want this guy to rise. So he come after the finance, he come after your health, and he come after, he bring division into people's lives. That if you don't know that, that's how he function. Because he know money. That's why you see all those people that talk too much about money. You never heard music today? The music of today, here in America, is all around money. Because they are there in those doctrine where they teach them about the power of man and money. And that's exactly what Lucifer put in people's mind. So when you start sinning, your spirit gets sick. So when your spirit gets sick, your spirit gets truly, when you call sick, is a metaphoric way of saying impure. So when you come impure, the Holy Spirit cannot be close to you too much, because it's holy. Holy means pure, divine, no sin. That's what holy means. So the holy cannot match with you. In order for two things to be together, they have to synchronize with the same frequency. It cannot happen with you being impure and him being pure. Somebody have to become impure and somebody have to become pure. So the Holy Spirit will not become impure because of you. So you're the one who have to become pure. The same thing with Jesus Christ, the same thing with God. So that's how people distance themselves, by violating those ethical value, those ethical guidance and principle from the heaven. Now what God does, he allowed temptation and suffering because he have to remove that impurity to correct the spirit and bring it close to purity, like bringing your body into neutrality in terms of pH. It's the same thing that God do with the spirit. So you have to go into difficulty and challenge. That is the medicine of the spirit. That's the reason why suffering is unavoidable in this earth. You will face challenge, you want it or not. Why? Because we sin without knowing. You think about somebody, I hate this guy, you already sin right there. Only by your thought. I can stand this person, you sin just right there. You know, this is not your country, you already sin right there. You might have right for it, but now it's not okay with God. You see, when Lucifer came, he brought a lot of laws to people. Democracy, you can think what you think, you have power the way you wanted to think, the way you are, you can have your own power, you can become whoever you want to become. Today you heard people talking about, you know, I am this, like Eve, you know, Eve, you can become like God, you know, you can own your own destiny. You see a lot of people saying that today, a lot of male, a lot of female talking about, you know, I can listen to anyone. I know everything. It's the same thing. When you look about Eve today, you start talking about, well, what do Eve did something like that. We don't do different than that. I can promise you that we don't even have to talk bad about those folks, because we doing just the same thing. We're gonna come and talk about it was a curse coming from them. Really, it is. But will we be different from them? Because we have an option. The curse, God put the curse. He let the curse. He didn't put the curse. People have to know that God didn't put the curse. He let the curse. The curse came from them disobeying God, listening into Lucifer doctrines. That's where the impurity enter the flesh and the spirit. I mean, yeah, the flesh to the spirit. That's what happened. So with that, they were already impure. And because they were already impure, God had to distance himself away from them because of the impurity. That's what happened. And they disobey God, and God have to cease the relationship because they were warned many times. That's not the way. It's the same thing we're doing today. So that allowance of the path in which they choose didn't cease men to make decision of good. So the decision, of course, that they talking about God made didn't cease men to think good. So if they put you in their place today, yes, in that time, will you do different? I don't think so, because you're facing pretty much similar different thing today, and you acting pretty much like they do. When you talk about, I can listen to this, I have the power to do this. There are certain words that we said that go against God's will. And you come and try to reverse the order in which God made things. You're going against God. You want to abuse your position because of God made it that way. You're going against God. God say a female and a male. Everything went with numerology. Number 1 mean you are the unificator, the uniter. The men were created. It was number 1. The female is number 2, mean the witness, the connector. She's supposed to be the connector. And that's the reason why Lucifer chose her. Exactly. Because he have to disconnect. And she was made directly with the hand of God. He's not an idiot. Lucifer is clever. He knows what he's doing. Today what happened? He wanted to swap the position and power, going against God order. And men too, they're taking some of the God order and they abuse it. That's also against God order. So it is all about following God. So when you go into the suffering and difficulty and challenge, you are curing your spiritual illness. There is no other remedy. It will improve your character and prepare you for more higher challenge ahead. That's exactly what it does. Whether or not you are going into challenge because of the error of the past, or whether God is testing you, it is always a trial from God. Because what happened is that you face challenge. And God waited on how you're going to respond. You respond. If you respond badly, you go to another challenge. If you respond against badly, you go to another challenge until you start responding well. So that's how God functions. He put challenge, and see how you're gonna respond. Because what we don't understand, God is not after the flesh, He's after the spirit. So his purpose is to purify and nurture the spirit. So everything that He does is about nurturing the spirit, because the spirit is what will live for eternity. And the body is the center, is the layer, is the medium in which the spirit can grow accordingly and be prepared for the spiritual realm. It is the truth. The spirit can only nurture better this way. The spirit grow well within the body, but it must have some discipline and follow certain standard to reach a certain level. That's what it is. Many people are telling me about the situation. They're talking about, what this guy's life is become. What this guy's life is become is because the politician, the men have tried to turn people against each other. What he did, like today I have compassion for him, I don't hate him, but I want people to say today I speak the truth. Those brothers who believe that they can hate a person because of his feature. Let me tell you, I walk with God. God is with me because God lives in me through Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is with me because Jesus Christ lives in me when He wanted. I can stand today and cure people from disease in the name of Jesus Christ. I can stand today and revive people from death with the name of Jesus Christ. And I can do the heaven will give access into my core. Because I have experienced it myself. And I responded with love and compassion despite the pain felt into my bones. So, what I'm saying is that those brothers that believe that they can hate a person because of his feature, you are selling the nation. You are selling the nation. I love the nation as like you. I love that nation more than you do. And God knows it. God shows me the feature of your nation. And that feature will not be great for a while financially. The dragon will launch financial dryness in the nation. It will require people chosen by God to come and reverse and remedy the situation. When you do not understand the word, you live your life as a blind man or blind people. God choose whoever he want to choose to be a leader for a reason, because that come with sacrifice. Is not something that is given. Those people sometimes don't even want it, but the Spirit choose something that can never be rebuked. When you are choosing by God, is not reversible. If it was reversible, I cannot share you. People like Moses should have resigned long time ago. Many people in the Bible should have resigned, but it is not reversible. When God chooses you, he have chosen. It is over. Until his time comes to cease and put another one. So don't think that the choosing of God is simple. It is champagne. No, it is a lot of pain. But it is also good because you're growing spiritually and you are nurturing a better future. So those brothers, I'm telling you to be very careful on how you deal with politicians. They brought division. I told you how Lucifer functions against people. I know many of you want to become someone. God is not against it. But the heaven want to remind us that every single one of us have a specific purpose in this earth. Specific is a keyword. Not a general purpose, a specific purpose. So not everyone will become a secretary. Not everyone will become a teacher. Not everyone will become a lab technician. Not everyone will become a limousine driver. Not everyone will become a butler. Not everyone will become a spokesman of a company or a firm or organization. Not everyone will become president. Not everyone will become vice president. Not everyone will become senator or congress or congressman or representative. Not everyone will become a good cooker. Not everyone will have a wonderful wife the way they want it. Not everyone will have a wonderful man the way they want it. We all have different destiny. So stop accepting the demon to inject haterism in your heart. Because that haterism will never ever change any other person's destiny. It will delay it, but it will happen. You just have to remember that. And when that delay come and it happen, it will be reversed, that delay, because it must be compensated. So it will bounce back to you, and you will have the same difficulties sometime in the future. You just have to know that. So stop hecklism. It will not bring this word forward. It will not change this word the way you think it will go. It will go. I mean, God have a purpose for each one of us. You just have to believe it. And most of the time, God don't choose people that people love. He always chooses people that no one has ever believed and no one has ever thought is him. And that's the person he chooses. But what people have never known of those persons is that those people that God chooses have specific trait and character. God is not an idiot. He thinks infinite time than us. And he knows. I have seen the future of the nation. And I'm telling you, brother, to be very careful. And I'm talking about my native nations, not the United States. I don't want people to be confused. To be very careful about being part. What the demon did, he divided people. He came here and make the American people to hate me, to reject me, because this is the land God sent me to succeed and to help other people. So if Luciferic plan work, it would delay God's purpose. But the only thing is, if I give up, I just have to steal, because God gave a time to everything. If there is an end and beginning, it means that something have to begin and end. It means that something that begin have an end. It means that something that have ended had a beginning. You are all over the world. You are all thinking. You all have big dreams. God told me that. The Holy Spirit told me that. You all have big dreams. But God said this. Many speak about big dreams, but no many can walk with me and carry the cross. Remember Aristotle say to Alexander the Great, when Alexander was talking about conquering the entire world, Aristotle, the teacher, he said to Alexander the Great, be careful, because things don't always seem to look the way you see it. And Aristotle was right. He went to India. He conquered. He went to the end of the pretty much the world in that time. And it was something different. He was not dealing anymore with the normal white magic. He was dealing with a darkness. So you have to be careful. God said, you all dream big, but he have a purpose for every single one of us. Because many of you cannot carry the weight of his will. When God gonna tell you to carry that cross in the name of people that splitting you, you're gonna curse God. God will tell you, carry this cross, and I want you to smile. Let people beating you, let people look at you down, let people curse you, and still love those same people. You're gonna say, no, God, I can't accept this. But God will tell you, it's for that claim you were thinking about. It's for that. No, it's for that. Don't give up. It's for that. No, God, I don't want it anymore. Oh, now you don't want it. That's exactly what God is talking about. Because He will put you into that test. He did it to Jesus Christ. He will do it to you. The world is full of people like that. It is all about peace. It is all about progress. To see nation rise and grow, and see people be nurtured and help others. Yes, He brought division so that I can be hated by people here. I told you about the strategy of Lucifer. That's what He's doing. Look what test God put in my path. How many of you can take my place? If you can answer yes, maybe you're right about your dreams. Maybe you're right about saying, why me? Can you take my place? Please, I want you to come and take my place. I don't like this anymore, please. And you get that future that God has for me. I'm pretty sure no one will show up. So stop doing what you're doing. Stop being part of plans of stuff that you have no clue. No one knows the future of these nations. No one knows how the future is going to work of that nation. God knows. He always going to come up with stuff that people never knew it would come. Look, ISIS today. There's a God plan. They come in with a dark force like an arrangement from the throne of God. Because before Lucifer do something, he have to go to the throne of God and challenge God. Not that he challenged God that he can beat God. He challenged him because God functions within his own resonance of law. He cannot violate that. Otherwise, he will not be divine anymore. That's what it is. That's why people look sometimes, they see God, think happening is happening, and they say, why God allow evil to do so bad? Is because God cannot break his divinity, his holiness. He have to keep it intact. Therefore, he will not react into situation. He's going to respond into it. And he respond into it based on a set of law that he put in place when he created the universe. So people have to be patient. People have to wait for his timing. That's how it is. People have to wait for his timing. God gonna choose the people that he want to put wherever he want to put them. And he would choose, for my brother out there, he would choose at least 1, 2, or 3 people that will be able to fulfill that spiritual battle, because it will be a spiritual battle. And it must be the right people in place to remedy the economic dryness that will come. That's what it is. God is there to protect everyone. We have to follow his path and command. And I stand firm, and I stand there with what I have to make sure that I walk in peace, with compassion inside of me, with love, with, to our people, regardless of the situation. And I'm launching today the campaign to work as a personal advisor, health advisor, and a personal trainer for people with a certain social economic standard. This is a campaign I'm launching to raise funds for my organization. So I'm going to be building a new trend of personal training and personal advising, health advising for people in Hollywood. I'll challenge them because I challenge the health system and the system of Luciferic teaching that they have over there. The 5% billion, I challenge them with the knowledge that I have. I raise money doing stuff like that. So, personal trainer and health advisor, that's things that are going to be launching soon. So, I also have something that I'll be running in terms of personal guiding angel and how to get them and all this stuff, and walking to Jesus Christ and knowing exactly who they are and stuff like that. So if you can get it in the morning and anytime, it's going to be very fun, and you know exactly who is who this day, that day, and how to, what kind of prayer you got to do, and it's kind of very amazing, right? So that's what it is. All right. And I'm saying into the leader and the president, open the path, walk with me. The past is past. We can't change it. All right. God have a future for all of us, and no one knows the future of the other. You can look and preview, but you don't know certainly, because God changed. He can come and show you something, allow Lucifer to see something that is not true, and God come up with something else. He always functions like that. He always say, I know what you do not. So he always gonna come up with stuff that you never have a clue. Not from your standpoint, but from the standpoint of Lucifer itself. All right. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you can go to my website www.angeloh made founded, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, iReport, and also Google Plus. And then you can also get some of my apps to get access to the informations. That's all. So for fun, when people are talking about having fun, I'm doing my best having fun. All right. And I believe that I have enough fun. So people just have to be able to work with me in that regard. You wanted to work with me, you have to come now that I have none yet. Don't come to me when you believe you can get something out of me. The way I'm structured spiritually, I always attract people like that who want to suck me out into the blood. Alright? They're always ready to do that. Try to hurt me is because of my good quality and the beauty that God put in me. I always love people. It's very tough, man. Walking with God, and I just want to come after these people, but God is there. I gotta the message I want to have for the women out there. Please, you are looking at me wrong. I'm not looking down on you. Please stop doing what you're doing. If there's something you wanted to tell me, know that I have a lot of problems. I have a lot of pressure, and there are certain things that you think that I care that I really don't care, because I have other problems. When I walk out there, you see my face. Sometimes I'm thinking about how will I fix this financial situation and fix my business so that I can have good fundraising and start running my programs. That's what I have in my head. So sometimes you might think, how can I prove this individual that I'm someone? I don't look for stuff like that. I even want somebody who come to me with humility despite what they have. That's exactly what I want. But if you think you're gonna come to me by impressing me, I don't look the physical or material. I look the long term. It means how long you're gonna be impressing me then? For 20 years, 40 years? That's not how God functions. But humility is something, it is an aphrodisiac that attracts forever. People get tired of material stuff. People get tired of looking into things. It's also applied to looking into the opposite sex. You'll be tired of it. So what will be the ingredient of attraction is the character. And that is something that many people miss, men as female. It is your character, and your character comes from your humility. The way you present yourself is not. People get tired of looking at stuff. So what's your game plan? What's your ball plan here? Be humble. You're gonna attract more. That's why I don't panic though. Don't be scared to come and talk to me. I'm not a monster. I might be strong. I might be something. An angel is there that will maybe kill people if they come close to me. No. I'm the same guy you knew. I'm the same guy you know. I'm the same guy you see. Well, not internally. If you come to attack me, therefore those angels are going to have to intervene. I'm sorry to say that. Why attacking me first, in the first place? So, humility is very simple. People don't have to be scared of me. So, they have to come in and talk to me, conversation. They'll be very pleased to know how they'll be delighted to know how good a good person I am. So I am I'm responding to a person specifically around. So I hope that they do the right thing uh, before my time come to go to my next journey. That's all. True peace. I have a lot of stuff in my mind. I have too many stuff. I have a lot of problem I need to deal with, and I don't think about looking at people down. That's not even one of my problems. I have many other problems I need to deal with. That's not even close. So just try to do the right thing. Try to communicate with me. Come talk to me. Communicate. Don't come and postulate. I say communicate. I didn't say postulate. Postulate mean that you come and post in front of people. That's not talking. Right? That's like kind of wasting time. Right? Communicate. I didn't say postulate. So it's very crucial communications. It resolves a lot of problems. All right. So we see you next time, and I hope that people follow the advice of communication, not temptation. I say humble communication, not temptations. All right. So I know how people do stuff. Let me go and tempt this guy. He's talking about communications. All right. So may God bless all of you for this Memorial Day. Blessing to all those who have served and died. I know one personally when I was deployed in Iraq. So I saw the guy. He left a daughter. Believe that she might be around 8 year old now. So 8, yeah, about 8 to 9 year old now. Because I think that she was that he died at the end of 2006. Yeah, she's about 8 to 9 year old now. So life continued. She was not able to know her father, but he died for serving these nations, a captain. So for people who take things granted when the father is still alive, may God give you good advice. That you have to benefit for what you see and not hate, because you might not see it again tomorrow. It is a wisdom you have to carry from this. Thing that God put in your path is always a blessing. I never see a person stand like that and say, God, please, thank you for bringing all this problem in my life.
praising God for the challenge and difficulties putting in your path to enhance you and to promote you for bigger challenge tomorrow. It is better for people to walk in the darkness with God than walking in the daylight alone. It means people to deprive themselves, not being loved by people, but by God, than being loved by the world and lose God in the way, in the soul. So I better walk with God in the darkest, in my darkest time, than walking out there and loved by the world, knowing that God is not with me. Not only are you going to lose this world at the end, because Lucifer is going to disappoint you and suck you down, but are also going to lose eternity in heaven. It is something people must know. It's important. Some people talk about curse. Some people talk about, I don't know how you guys see this Bible. When the Bible came, did the word stop? The Bible is just a referential, but very important one, very fundamental one, because it's divine. It is divine Bible, divine book. It is a divine referential on how our life is about in this earth. It's a divine referential on how our life is in this earth. You have to know that. That is the reason the Bible has been inspired here in this earth to be a divine referential for earthly people life, because it is about your story. Thank you very much for listening to this big class of the NJOH Medical Foundation, or DBA Comfit Global Consulting Charity Medical Foundation for Pharmaceutical and Medical and Innovative Technology. Thank you, and visit and join the cause. Good one. Applause. It's what it is.